Mannerism is a style of European art that emerged after the Renaissance period and before the Baroque era. This shift in art form occurred during a time of changing ideas and norms in Europe, such as the Protestant Reformation, political shifts, and other societal and cultural developments. It was with these new beliefs and ideas that compelled Mannerism artists to reject the conventions of the past, particularly Renaissance naturalism. We can see this sentiment in many Mannerism artworks. Through art, Mannerism artists wanted to reveal the nature of their pieces and appreciate artistic production, unlike how Renaissance artists tried to hide or disguise this with shading and other shadow techniques. As a result, Mannerism artwork often included an imbalance and lack of symmetry, strange complexions and facial expressions, and ambiguity in every aspect, most often spatial. There can be found also mental and physical tension. Ironically enough, it is these characteristics that give Mannerism the sort of elegance and stylish quality it typifies. A great example to start Mannerism off is Pontormo's Entombment, depicting the burial of Jesus Christ after crucifixion. This particular work exemplifies Mannerism in that there's both distortion of human form, ambiguity in spatial representation, and lurid coloring, all of which contribute to a sort of elegance. There's a purposeful elongation of the human body that gives each subject an elegant feel. We can see mental and physical tension in the figures' faces. Mary's forlorn and exhausted face, Jesus' limp body with back elongated. The lowermost figure has a particularly fascinating expression of confusion and melancholy. The space, in addition, in which the figures are set also contribute to ambiguity. Unlike Renaissance art, there is no earthly ground or space on which the figures stand, no distinct linear perspective, a lack of environmental clues, not even a tomb to signify burial, entombment, and even death. We are left with only these figures, and thus this work is very Mannerist because it allows the viewers to piece the puzzle that is the artwork. Another Mannerism artwork is Sophonisba Anguissola's portrait of the artist's sisters and brother. Though this work may seem like a typical portrait, it teems with Mannerism elements. For example, we can see an overall informality to the work that sets it apart from past Renaissance portraits, which were mostly formal and almost regal. In Anguissola's portrait, there is an informality that has a simultaneous elegance. Each child has his or her difference. Each are engrossed in his or her own activity. The sister on the left appears to stare into the distance, past the artist, engrossed in something else, and the brother at the center appears to have been intrigued at something to his left. The girl on the right seemed almost amused, with a hint of a giggle forming in the crest of her mouth. Anguissola herself was known and praised for her informal portraits such as this, which had a sense of compassion and movement within it. There is also a lack of symmetry, characteristically Mannerist. It would be conventional to have all the figures angle themselves toward the center and thus form a center of gravity for the work to condense upon. Yet in this work, we don't see that. The children are left to do what they please. And finally, the artist doesn't hide the true nature of her work with shadowing or blending of colors, as artists of Renaissance did to evoke a sense of naturalism. Her work is a raw portrayal of her siblings. Yet we don't know that just by looking at it, which gives it the ambiguity and childish elegance so characteristic of Mannerism.